drives one in the air. Deep right field. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Way back it might be. It could be. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow.
The Dingers podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Mitch. I'm here with Jeffrey. We're going to jump on before the Cubs take on the Giants at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field starting at 6:10 tonight. We're kind of recording this podcast on a Monday. It's like 4:30, so it's before the game. The Cubs have come off of 2 series wins against the NL Central foes, taking 2 of 3 from the Pirates, losing that middle game there, and then taking 2 of 3 from the D-Gens from Upcountry, also known as the Milwaukee Brewers, winning the first 2 in pretty convincing fashion, and then dropping the last game in the series on Sunday, which that's kind of like par for the course for the Cubs for the last like 2 years, as we always lose on Sunday. But the big news out of the series is Shota Imanaga going down there in like the 7th, 8th inning with a little pulled hamstring. Just came out not even an hour ago that he's headed to the 15-day IL, and Gavin Hollowell is being called up. More of just a replacement and a holding guy, a guy that's fresh arm until I'm expecting Thursday, maybe, that Cade Horton gets the call up to take that starter spot from Shota. So I'm joined by Jeff. He's been just locked in to like every pitch this season. So I'm interested to hear his takes on the Cubs Brewers series. What's your big takeaway from the last 2 series that you've kind of seen with these Cubs and winning, keeping the winning ways rolling?
Well, it would have been nice to get that sweep against those douchebags from up north, but kind of par for the course. When he did leave that game, nobody was up in the pen really warming up. So we probably had a guy come in there a little cold that wasn't really ready to probably pitch, and things just kind of, the dominoes started to fall, which is all right. But what I do like is if we don't win really convincingly by hitting a bunch of home runs, we're still winning convincingly by playing small ball, moving station to station, stealing bases, keeping things really exciting, really interesting. And I think a lot of that is due to our trade for Kyle Tucker, who took a lot of pressure off people, but PCA has made a huge step forward this year at the plate.
Yeah, the dude is like, he's on fire. Like, and he's so much fun to watch. And I mean, it's only a matter of time. And I think Counsell said this, that for him to move up to like leadoff, and I think that's where he's going to project to be, but he needs to be one of the top 3 hitters in the lineup to be able to earn that spot. Well, so far this year, like the dude is like, he's earned it. I think we need to see a little more sustained time to give some trust with Counsell to move him up there. But that production down the bottom of the lineup, we've talked about it forever. Like lengthening that lineup makes a huge difference when you have Amaya hitting and you have production out of the catcher spot that we haven't had for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, I don't know if it was after Friday's game or Saturday's game, but I got a little soundbite of PCA after the game, and he says he feels really confident batting in that 7th hole. So if he feels confident there, I'd leave him there for a little while longer, because we've seen in the past what's happened to batters when you move them all the way up to that leadoff spot. It kind of implodes a little bit.
Well, they change who they are instead of like PCA is like, he's just carefree up there, not overthinking things. Like he's not thinking I have to like work the count here, have a good at bat. He's just, I'm going to go up there and try to be productive. And you're seeing the production. What I've noticed too with PCA is his stance over the course of his major league career has changed. Like when he first came up in the big leagues, he was like standing almost straight up and kind of striding and trying to get long and generate power by getting long early. And what we've seen this year is a little bit of an open stance and he's wide and way out. And he's almost eliminated that high leg kick. And all it is heel up, heel down, and just go. And like I kind of made that same transition with my son. My son had a super wide open stance, and I've cut that down and widened him out, and he was kind of standing up a little bit. Now I've widened him out just to be quicker to the ball. Get quick to the ball. Get those hands to let your hips drive the bat, and that's what's working for PCA. You're seeing like such quick hands being driven by his lower half because he's using it now. He's not just trying to let his body stride forward. He's using his lower half to really turn that barrel, and it's fun to watch because the dude he's hitting some tanks, like some deep shots, and it's awesome. It's exactly what you want for. And I mean, the Cubs did offer him a contract, and he turned it down. He bet on himself to like, no, I'm worth more, and I'm going to go out and show it. Now, it's going to hurt the Cubs because if Cubs down the road here, if they want to extend him, which looks like they do, they're going to have to pony up the money to be able to get him. And if I were the Cubs, I'd be pouring money into him and Tucker because they're going to be the guys that are going to be the future.
I mean, yeah. What's Tucker, like 28? Is he 20 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the guys the money. Big thing is Shota going down. In his last start, he exited the game with a little bit of like leg cramps early after pitching well. Yesterday, pitching really well. I think he was in the 7th or 8th. No runs.
Might have been like 6th and the 3rd or something. I think is what he got credit for it. But either way, he's pitching. It was basically a pitcher's duel up until that point. Yep. So, and then pulled a little hamstring. I think it's a left hamstring strain. They didn't really give much more detail. Just put him on the 15-day IL. I mean, I think that's a good news that it's only 15-day early. That they think that they can work him back, but it's still. Now you are down your number 1 and your number 1A in your pitching rotation this season. And we've talked about all off season, the biggest hole in this Cubs team is starting pitching. And now what they said is they have depth. Well, beginning of the season started out without Assad. You've had guys like Colin Ray step up and be great. You had Ben Brown do pretty well so far this year. And it looks like we're going to turn here shortly to another young fella in Cade Horton. Do you have some of his stats? Cade Horton, I just saw a couple, and over the last 6 games, he's got a 1.24 ERA, and I think what's he holding the opposition's batting average to? Is it 130 something?
129.
129. Yeah, so that's pretty phenomenal. Granted, everyone's going, well, it's only AAA, whatever. At some point this season, he's going to get up and he's going to be pitching, starting for the Cubs.
And it's going to look like soon because he's only pitched in 6 outings. He's looked phenomenal. First couple outings, it was only going like 3 innings, 4 innings. I think his last 2, he got up to 6 innings, building up that arm stamina and strength, but he's looked great and he's worked on a new pitch. Like he's everything that we kind of wanted him to be last year. This year, he's proved that he should get a look. And now with Shota down, he's the next guy that you need to get a look. And I don't know, like I haven't been excited for a pitching prospect
since Mark Pryor.
Probably since Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood. Like it's been a long time. Like maybe Jeff Samardzija, I was like kind of pumped when they were gonna bring like way back in the day, but like it's been a while. So like this, I want him to be super successful. I want that fire him come up and just dominate like the rookie Kerry Wood did when he got called up against the Expos. Like I want that.
We actually drafted Cade Horton, didn't we? We didn't get him in a trade. Yeah. So when was the last time we actually drafted a pitcher that made a difference in a
Justin
season?
Steele. Justin Steele.
Yeah. Okay, so him and before him had been a long time.
Yep. I mean, but Justin Steele, he was in the minors for quite a while
Oh,
before
wow.
he got his break, and he wasn't like a highly touted guy like Cade Horton. I feel like has been a little bit more highly touted prospect. So I'm super excited for the Cubs to give him a look, for him to kind of get in there, get a shot, and he's going to get it against who do we play? Who will we play then? It looks like it'll be the Mets, and the Mets have a really good lineup. We play at New York on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It looks like it's going to be the Mets.
So if we're playing the Mets, that's got to be the hardest series that we have this month, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's the Mets, the Giants. The Giants have been pretty good this year, but then we have the Marlins, White Sox, Marlins, Reds, Rockies, Reds. So
yeah. So what I send you guys the other day? What did I send that to? Did I text it to you?
I think you sent it on Instagram, but yeah, I saved that picture that the Cubs. Oh, see if I can pull it up and show you this little thing.
Yeah, that. So those are all the teams that the Cubs have played below 500.
Zero.
And, I mean, look at the Mets. They played 20 teams below 500.
But the Cubs have played zero.
So, and right now, I think we're 21-14, and we got 7 blown saves. It's pretty phenomenal.
You gotta feel pretty good about that. You gotta feel pretty good about where we're sitting in first place, and that we've come, like we said last year, like these games against the NL Central, because there isn't so many of them, they're even that much more important when you can take care of business against the NL Central. And taking 2 of 3 from both the Pirates and Milwaukee, you got to feel pretty good. Getting the Reds twice, which I now think the biggest contender for the Cubs in the Central are the Reds. The Reds have some young pitching. They have some pretty good young bats. That's going to be where. And so we play the Reds twice at the end of this month. Where are we going to be when that comes around?
Yeah, I feel like they're really streaky. Like they're really tough and hard to beat team. But then there's other times where you look at, they play somebody other than the Cubs and they like fall on their face and lose pitifully.
I mean, they got swept in a doubleheader by the Cardinals. I saw that, and they got blown out both games. Yeah. But like they have Terry Francona as their manager now, and so like that's manager makes a difference. The manager makes a difference in a young team. They're going to be more disciplined. That's going to be the team that I'm a little bit more nervous about. Especially, I mean, we will be coming off playing the Marlins and the Rockies during that stretch. So hopefully we're feeling good by getting a lot of wins before we take on the Reds at the end of the month.
Do you think Terry Francona is going to be remembered for breaking the 86-year drought for the Boston Red Sox, or as the Double-A Birmingham Barons manager that coached Michael Jordan?
I don't know. A lot of people forget that he coached Jordan. I'll say that. I want to end with this. This is going to be a short podcast, and with 2 things. One, and I saw this. I'm stealing this from the Setup Man because I saw him do a YouTube video on this. And I thought it was great. But I want to pose the question to you. Do you think this year's team playing a regular season 3-game series could beat the 2016 Chicago Cubs?
Yes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, okay. Even the 2016 team started out hot, and that kind of propelled their season. But there were some times where there's some lulls, and there were some games. Seriously, if you put Jason Hamill against this lineup,
they had Arrieta, they had Lester,
right?
But Kyle Hendricks.
I think they could beat him. I honestly really do.
Just because of the offense?
Yeah. I mean, we had way better bullpen and way better pitching in 2016 than what this team has right now. But
you're forgetting how good the 2016 offense was.
Yeah. But
Prime Chris Bryant.
Rizzo, you had to use somebody else's bat in the playoffs.
Dexter Fowler getting on base.
I really think
Addison Russell.
I don't think anybody wants to hear Addison Russell's name.
Ben Zobrist. I think he's
Retired.
playing in some like third-rate Dominican Mexican league.
Yeah. I guess Patrick Wisdom is just tearing it up in the Korean baseball league.
Good for him. Good for him,
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Shoot.
There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o.
Mhm.
B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name-o. Tell me I'm wrong, but the farmer's name is Bingo.
Okay. Are you sure?
There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o.
So the song is actually about the farmer's name is Bingo?
I don't know. But if you're going to write it in such a way that it wants the dog, it was said there was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was the dog's name. Or there was a farmer and he had a dog named Bingo. Wouldn't they like specify? But it doesn't. It just says there was. And what I did is I looked into this, and it was an old Irish bar tune, and the original had nothing to do about a dog.
Really? What did it have to do with?
Guy named Bingo.
All right.
So prove me wrong.
What, am I supposed to go down a rabbit hole on the internet?
I don't know. I had this fight with my students the other day. And
all right. I'll start looking it up.
I said, I will die on the hill that Bingo is the farmer's name and not the dog. Come fight me.
I'm not going to fight you. Bingo was the farmer or the dog. That's what happens. That's like the third thing that comes up. My goodness. I'll just end on this. Everybody out there that are Cubs fans that are going to hear this, enjoy the high times that we're having right now with this Cubs team. But if history has told us anything, during the course of a 162-game season, there will be lulls and there will be some losses that are just going to irritate you and piss you off. Don't hang your head on that. Ride the highs. Don't dwell on the lows, and just enjoy Cubs baseball.
Do I need to share one more story?
Sure.
Okay. Utah police came knocking on a mom's door on a Sunday morning, telling her that her 7-year-old son had taken her 5-year-old sister on a drive. Was it 10 miles to a neighboring town
to go to McDonald's
to get McDonald's? And the police had to like run the car off the road basically to get it to stop.
Yeah. If you sent that to me and then you said that this sounds like something that you would have done as a kid. You're not really wrong. I didn't drive like to another town, but I would wake up in the middle of the night. Like, this is below the age of 7. I would get up in the middle of the night and I'd go outside and I'd just kind of peruse the neighborhoods, just kind of wander around. Like in the middle, like after midnight, 7-year-olds just wandering the streets, checking stuff out. My parents didn't know what was happening until I mistimed when I was out, and I like met my dad as he was leaving for work, like at the front door. He's like, "What are you doing?" That's just checking stuff out.
But what would you have done if you were driving and you like pull up to like a stoplight and you look over
and you can't even see the kid's head?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, you gotta love the kid's ambition. Like, hey, he wanted McDonald's and he had the money. Sometimes you just need a McGriddle, you know? Sometimes you just need one.
What's fascinating is maybe kids shouldn't ride in the front seat of a car for a while, because I mean, how much has he picked up on that he could just get behind the wheel and drive that car?
I mean, my kids drive enough four-wheelers and stuff on the farm. Like, Cannon could probably get in and drive it. My daughter could drive. Cannon's 10, 11. He could drive it. But anyway, Cubs take on the Giants tonight. Matthew Boyd is on the mound. Let's continue the winning ways. Continue the winning ways. Stay hot at Wrigley. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs, go.